Is suffering just an illusion? You know, the famous Indian sage Ramana Maharshi, he had a saying that goes like this, quote, "One cannot attain liberation by trying to pluck every leaf off the tree, for more leaves will just continue to grow. And so to attain liberation, the whole tree must be uprooted." End quote. This is another way of saying that we can try to transcend the ego by dealing with one thought at a time, and certainly this will help make some progress, but it will not ultimately lead to true and lasting freedom or happiness. In order to be fully liberated from the illusion of the separate self, then the person itself must be recognized as an illusion. There is no greater peace than coming to the realization that this little me, which we have taken ourselves to be our entire lives, does not actually exist. And it is this little me that is responsible for all of the psychological suffering that we have ever experienced. But understanding why this little me is an illusion can be difficult for most people. To simplify this concept, it's worth mentioning that the concept itself is not the freedom or the liberation in the same way that the map is not the territory itself. Keep that in mind. For all these words can do is point you to this realization, but it's ultimately something you must see for yourself, where you have that aha, I see moment, that incredible insight where you recognize that the story is an illusion. And that alone is what brings total liberation and ultimate freedom. One of the most misunderstood terms in spirituality is the word illusion. Oftentimes when phrases like the world is an illusion or suffering is an illusion, it can actually trigger a lot of people to get angry because they think that it means or somehow suggests that what happened to them never actually happened, or that they made it all up, like some kind of gaslighting. But this is a misunderstanding of illusion. And for this reason, it needs to be adequately explained. Phrases like suffering is an illusion is one of the most empowering and liberating truths we can actually hear and recognize. You see, an illusion is something which its existence depends upon us not understanding it. An illusion is something which its existence depends on us not understanding it. The moment we understand an illusion, it vanishes because understanding undoes all illusions. Look at this man's tie. So, if we use a piece of rope as an example, and someone ties a knot in the middle of the rope and asks us, does the knot exist? We might say, yes, of course it could exist. I can see it right there. Pay close attention. Notice how the mind identifies what appears to be a new object called a knot. But then they say to you, no, the knot doesn't exist. It's an illusion. We might react by saying, hey, how dare you insult my intelligence? I can see the knot right there for myself. You must take me for a fool, or some kind of reaction like that. And that's essentially how most people react when they hear the phrase, suffering is an illusion. It doesn't mean that we don't experience suffering, because obviously we do. In the same way that we experience a knot, the moment we identify it as a new concept. It doesn't mean that we don't experience suffering, because we obviously do. In the same way that we experience a knot the moment we identify it as a new concept. But what the phrase, "the knot is an illusion," means is that there is no knot apart from rope. The knot is just something the rope is doing. So it gives the illusion that there's one thing called rope and another thing called knot, when in fact there isn't. Only the rope exists. In the same way, when we think about our past, the way we remember it is exactly like our dreams at night. Memories appear to us as ephemeral images in our mind and snapshots in time of which we cannot be sure are any more real than our dreams at night. Nevertheless, the mind wants to carry these dreams forward in time and create stories out of them that define who I am in this moment. Yet, all stories are illusions. Stories do not exist apart from us thinking about them. Only this moment exists, and in every now moment we're born again, free to be who we choose to be here and now, free from all dreams of the past. So, we can use this analogy to see why the person, or the personal me, myself, self concept is also an illusion. The person is a story. Our entire sense of personhood or ego that we take to be real is just a story created from memory. There is no person or me without a story. If we remove the story, the person goes along with it. What remains without the story and without the concept of personhood is only the perfect present moment, which contains no mental suffering, no fear, and no judgment. For these things can only exist inside of a story that the mind creates. We tend to only see the world through concepts of past and future, but never as it actually is here and now. This is how the illusion of the person, and therefore suffering, is generated. We compare what is happening now to what we've experienced of the past or desire for the future. So in some fundamental way, we never really interact with the real world. All of our time is spent dreaming. Our sleeping and waking states have different forms, but their content is the same. It's all illusion. Indeed, much of what we see is actually the ego's protest against reality. Only this moment exists, and in every now moment, we're born again. Born to be free who we choose to be here and now, free from all dreams of the past. Namaste. And remember, one love.